Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Depression is Real. This is episode one of our show, the very first one. And today I'll be joined by Kevin, and we'll be chatting a little bit about his experiences and what he went through. And hopefully, in the next episode, he'll be talking to me about my experiences. So, Kevin, how are you doing this evening?
Well, thank you for asking, Elsie. I'm doing very good. Um, I just had dinner, so I'm pretty relaxed, and I'm just ready to have a good talk.
That's awesome to hear. All right, well, Kevin, do you want to give a little background about yourself to everyone who's listening?
How far do you want me to go back?
Uh, I don't know, just tell us about your hobbies and s- general life, I guess. Just so we can get to know you a little better, we can understand your perspective better as well.
Okay, I guess we could start at the beginning. We got time, right?
Yep.
Um, so my name is Kevin Brunia. I am 17 years old, and I was born in Hilversum, the Netherlands, in Europe. And I moved to America when I was three, I think. I first moved to Washington. I lived there for a few years. And then I think my mom got a job here in California. So then we got moved down here. And I've been here ever since. And I started second grade here and I went to Kelly Elementary. And I moved on to Aviara Middle School where I met Elisey. And then I went on to high school where I am right now. I'm a senior. And some hobbies outside of school, I swim a lot, 5 times a week, and I enjoy reading a lot and also just hanging out with friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's cool to hear other people who are immigrants talk about their experiences and how, I feel like we grew up a little differently than others, than people who were just raised here. Like originally getting accustomed to a whole nother country is very strange, especially with our parents most likely not being able to speak English very well.
yeah, but I need to go back sometime soon, like once this Corona thing is over, because I moved out of the Holland when I was really young, so I don't even remember anything.
Hmm.
Yeah. So definitely that's on my to-do list.
Yeah. Where would you visit? What would you like to see there?
I would just like to visit the place where I grew up, my hometown, and I think I don't remember I remember their names, but I forgot how they looked like, but I did have some friends there and go back to see if I can find them and but most importantly just like to try the food there because obviously I like totally forgot and I'd really like to experience that
Hmm.
again.
Yeah. It would be kind of crazy meeting up with some old friends from a whole different country.
Yeah, definitely. They probably changed so much that I can't even recognize them. So
Yeah. Probably the same with all of my old friends as well. But it would
yeah,
be interesting just to see where they're at, what type of people they've become.
yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, could you, not to get, but just to break the ice a little bit, I guess, could you describe a little bit about your experiences of being depressed and what it felt like?
Oh yeah, so now we're getting into the real meat of the conversation, our real purpose for you.
Yep.
So this happened in junior year. I took pre-calculus honors. I think our school is separated into trimesters, so it's basically like thirds our year is split into. I it was in the second trimester. We were just it was like any other day. Studying for a test. We had a test the next day, and uh, I obviously went to swim practice that day. I came home, was super tired. I came home really late and I just didn't feel like doing anything. And so I just went to bed that day. And then the next day, it came to the math test, and obviously I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't study." So yeah, I'm just gonna put it really bluntly. I cheated on the test, and the teacher caught me, and so I got a referral to the office. That was my first strike. And thankfully, I've never, that was my first and only last strike. I haven't done it since. But yeah, and after that, just on the way home, and like after that incident, just for days and weeks, I would just sit in my room just crying like most of the day and just being quiet and shutting myself off from my friends and my family. So that was definitely the darkest period in my life. But thankfully, this virus happened, and I got a lot of more time to stay at home and just think about life in general and just how I move on from this. And I'm very grateful that my friend here, Elisey, was a great person to just talk to and just share my thoughts with. And yeah, he was great to talk to. And the other thing that really helped me was music. I've been listening to music, of course, like my whole life, but I really just during this summer I got to really see how much of an impact music can really make on a person. I was able to escape reality, like just for a few moments, and really just like go to another place and just forget about everything. But it really helped me just cope with it. And the other part was just I got to just see everything in a perspective. Like, oh yeah, this was a huge incident. Like right now, it seems like a huge deal, but later on in life, maybe like 5, 10 years from now, it's gonna look like nothing. So that's also what really helped me, and I just realized that wow, everyone makes mistakes. This was my mistake. You know, it was that curveball that life decided to throw at me, and now that I'm I'm still getting through. I'm not over it yet, but I'm definitely glad that I went through this really early on in life, so I'm more prepared in the future. I know that was really long, but
I think it was very insightful from a student perspective, and I think a lot of high schoolers are on the same boat as you.
yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah. And this is exactly what this show is about, I think. Being able to connect with people and understand, because I think a lot of us have been through like the same exact thing as high schoolers and just young adults in general, where yeah, life really starts hitting you, and a lot of times we're not readily prepared to meet it, but it still comes at you fast anyways, and there's nothing you can do about it really.
yep. And like addressing the fact is the first step into overcoming it.
Hmm.
And yeah, and hopefully here we're trying to break the shell, if you will,
Yeah.
of myself and any other guest that comes on.
Yeah, and obviously we want to do it in a respectful way, and whatever the person is comfortable with, we want to make you feel at home, and just we want you to feel good about yourself and knowing that you're loved and people really do care for you here.
Definitely, 100%, I agree with him.
Yeah. And just touching on the fact, I agree with Kevin on how Corona has really changed my view of life, and we're not saying obviously all the deaths that have happened around the world and the ruin it's caused to businesses and many industries is very sad, but I think a lot of people have really been able to just while staying at home kind of discover themselves more, and with a lot of free time that we got being out of school, to really just focus on you and improve as people. And I think that was very beneficial to me and Kevin in our experiences. And I'll touch more about that in the next episode, most likely. But yeah.
You got any more questions for me, Elisey?
Uh, well, I was going to touch a little bit more about So you get this lesson thrown at you, and how are you able to just kind of get in the mindset of, you know what, I screwed up and I need to change for the better and need to improve myself versus just being like kind of blowing it off and just continuing this behavior? What made you realize that it was bad?
Um, I think, well, there's a few reasons, but I think the biggest one is that I'm a senior now. I'm literally 1 year away from being an actual adult, and that realization only came to me just recently, unfortunately. But it really just opened my mind to it gave me a reality check, really, about wow, I have like this was only just a portion of my life. I have like a huge part to keep living. Like I have after high school, I have college and then work and then getting a job and then possibly starting a family. So like the huge journey is still yet to come.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what really like helped me was just yeah, I just realized that this it's just so small. Like obviously I really regret my decision about that day, but I think only through like making these mistakes and these tripping up can we really just realize really what our purpose in life is. Because I never really discovered my passion for music or anything if this event had never happened. And I urge anyone else who is going through this to really just look at everything in perspective. And also, if you've really like enjoyed something, then just do it. Like, and obviously, Corona has, as unfortunate as it is on a global perspective, for people like as individuals, I think it's a really great timing where we can just find ourselves and discover something that we never would have if this hadn't happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Couldn't have said it better. I guess moving on to the question, um, what are you grateful for in life? Because you went through this dark period, and I know you mentioned music as being kind of a savior that you looked into, but what else? What else makes you get up in the morning every day?
Mm,
Keeps you going?
yeah, I don't have a full answer to that. I'm still trying to figure that out, but definitely number one for having such wonderful parents there. I it was obviously my fault for not really opening up to them more, but had I did, I'm sure they would have been so supportive and caring. So I'm really grateful that I have such caring parents, and also that I found a great friend like you. That's been a huge help as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then this the third and final reason that you said before was just music. That was as simple as it is. It's yeah, I think I said this before, but it's just it really it helps so much. It just it's like really motivating because I really hope to like do something related to music in the future and to listen to different artists and songs. It's really just it motivates me to get up in the morning and whenever I can because I'm in school, but whenever I can, maybe on the weekends or maybe on a Friday night, I can just open up FL Studio and just start making some chords and then try to make some songs. So
Mm-hmm.
just the I think just the idea that pursuing my passion and then just like wanting to do that in the future, that's really the biggest motivating factor.
Mm-hmm. And may I ask then, what is your favorite type of music? What is the music that inspired all of this?
Yeah, so I pretty much like listen to any every type of music. I don't really have a preference, but when it comes to actually like making music, I definitely go interested. I definitely do like EDM and dubstep and that type of stuff.
Hmm.
Like that's pretty much mostly what I listen to. It's just I just think it sounds great, and then it's great to perform for other people because whenever like something like Marshmello or Martin Garrix comes on, like, everyone just starts going crazy because like I think like electronic music is that one genre that like just everyone enjoys, I think.
Hmm. It's
So
party dance music, and everyone
yeah,
loves that.
definitely. So
Yeah.
that's definitely why one reason why I started making that type of music.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'd also definitely recommend, as Kevin said, with music. I think everyone should explore music. Like whether you listen to it a lot already or you don't. I think you should definitely try. Most people already have a pretty good idea of what type of music they like, but maybe try even exploring a bit. I found a lot of music that I didn't even know about, that I didn't even think about, and I absolutely fell in love with it, and it changed my life. And music is a kind of a way where you can, like Kevin said, get away from life, and it lets you just, yeah, it creates like a whole new world and gives you a peace of mind. Or it can, get you pumped up, excited. Music can definitely change your mood. And it can even match your mood too as well. Because, people, if something tough happens to you, people are like, oh yeah, don't worry about it, it's fine. But there's nothing wrong with letting your emotions out and crying and just letting it all sink in. That's perfectly normal part of being human. And music, I think, definitely helps with that. And also with instruments. I know Kevin, you play a little bit of keyboard,
Yeah, yeah, I do.
and I think everyone should try playing some sort of musical instrument. You might not end up liking it or care for it, but I think that everyone should give it a try because it's truly rewarding seeing yourself progress from, not being able to have a skill into forming a real passion. And in my opinion, it's really fun. I'll touch more about what I do with it later, but it's a way to, 'cause sometimes the words can't describe what we're feeling or what we want to say, but we can through music. And it's really beautiful when you're able to kind of express yourself through a different voice that you normally wouldn't be able to talk through.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you that. And also like just the fact that how like one like it's not in how just accessible it is in a way, and just as long as you have a pair of hands or feet, you can just play, and once you start, it's so hard to stop because what like you just learn something, you go on YouTube or you buy a book or something, you learn your first chords, you learn the scales, and that's just like the key to unlocking this whole door, like world of possibilities, and you're not limited to just one type of music to play. The keyboard can really just give you ideas for any genre you want to do, just whatever suits you.
Yeah. And today, with pretty much every single musical instrument can be bought for like under $200, which is a very small investment. If your family is not very well off, you can work a summer job or any sort of minimum wage job, and you could even save up for that within a few months of working. And yeah, I think it's really rewarding. And when you have rough days and you might think, oh, this is a horrible day, everything's bad. If you can just sit down and play on your instrument, then the day, was it really so bad after all? You got to play your favorite instrument and relax, and it gives you something to do every day and focus on. And I think everyone should have a special talent that they're good at, because not only does it make you an interesting person and it can appeal to other people more, it's very self-rewarding. And it's creative hobbies are amazing because they really work your mind. It's like reading and can progress your brain. I don't know too much into the science. I'm only
No, yeah,
17,
yeah.
so but I know for a fact that it can definitely help in it can affect other parts of your life as well, making you more creative and more outgoing. So there's that to it.
Yeah, the amount of endorphins that your brain releases when you're playing it,
Yeah.
it's just pure enjoyment.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's nothing else to it. It's just, and it's always gonna like be there for you. You know, there's just some things in life where it just, oh yeah, it's gonna come and go. But like if you're sitting in your room, it's always gonna be sitting on the next to your door, your bed. You can just pick it up if you have a guitar, or just open up the case for your piano,
Mhm.
and yeah, it'll be there, and you can just start playing.
Yeah, you can impress everyone around you, and yeah, like you said, sometimes things go. Friends can leave, your special someone can leave, your family, but that instrument, it's always gonna be there for you. It's always gonna make it'll always be there. It's not going anywhere. So I think it's really important to have that one thing in life where we can, no matter how hard times can be, it'll be it'll always be there for you.
Yeah, and we're not saying you should only just try out music, just anything that you're really interested in doing. Would that be like art, drawing, or like just doing something with the computer, like doing some graphic design or engineering stuff? Just really anything.
Yeah,
Just, yeah, just lack of a better word, just do it.
yeah, like
I think that's just like a huge motivating factor, and
mhm,
you shouldn't be afraid to do it just because what other people would think. You should do it because you want to, and I think that's what just everyone's mindset should be.
yeah,
Like definitely now.
yeah, and all of us are gonna be, if you might sit down at a guitar, you'll be like, oh, I'll never be as good as Jimi Hendrix, or I'll never be able to play piano like this guy, but they all started at nothing, just like you are at some point. So, there's nothing to worry about. We all were bad at one point, but that's why we learn and we practice. We can get better at it. And that goes for school or anything. Definitely with musical instruments and any creative hobby. You might say you suck at art, but if you really enjoy it, pursue it. And it doesn't matter what people think or say. You're doing it for yourself. If you love it, do it. Don't let anybody else stop you. And if somebody does, if they're a friend, then are they really your friend? Because friends should be supportive and caring. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, and then one more thing I could add is just d don't think that it's too late to do it. Just now is the perfect time to just start. And I don't think there should be any timeline or just I don't no one should tell you when you should do it. I think it's just like doing it on impulse. I think that's the best where you just think, yes, I'm gonna do it now. Yeah, and I might be a senior in high. Oh, you might even be like a 30-year-old man, male or female, and you're just like, oh, I don't know if I should start now. Like, geez, I'm too old. No, it's fine. You just pick it up and just start doing it. I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. I think you said it good. It's never too late. Yeah, and if you're saying, especially if you're saying this as a teenager, it's definitely not too late. Dude, like I've met, and talked to tons of people who've told me that they wish they played piano or guitar when they were early. And you're right at the age. Or you pick it up and then just imagine yourself in 10 years where you'll be if you practice. And the
Yep.
videos you watch on YouTube of somebody, shredding or just playing a crazy solo on piano, that shouldn't demotivate you. It should inspire you because one day if you practice, you'll be just as good as them.
Oh yeah, you yeah. I'll add on. Just YouTube is just a lifesaver. They have literally everything on it.
Yeah.
Like you just want to learn something new, just type it in the search bar and it'll come up. It's that simple.
Yeah, with technology today, and literally anything is possible. And online classes you could take at local colleges, you can learn anything you want. And yeah, don't if you're reluctant about it, just do it. You will be very grateful that you took that step forward.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess for the very last question for you for this episode, Kevin, what do you plan on doing in the future? You get out of high school. What are some of your goals in life, and where do you want to end up?
So I think my first primary goal is to go to a college, a 4-year college, because I always like I have musical aspirations and to be like a huge DJ or a record producer, but I also need to I like yeah, it's okay to dream big, but you also need to be grounded in reality. So I do know that it's a small chance, but I need to know that if it doesn't work out, I can always go to a college, get a major, and then find like an office or business job. So I just know that like if something happens, I'll always know that I can go back to something. So yeah, after that, get a degree. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I think it's either some like social or like business degree, something in that area, because I've always had aspirations of owning a business. Yeah, as generic as it sounds, but I kind of want it to be geared. Like if I can't become like a really cool like DJ, I think just doing like owning like a music store even that's even like fine for me. Just something that has to do with music.
Hmm.
And I think after that, just when the time comes, just meeting someone special, and I just yeah, and maybe starting a family. So
Yeah.
my future isn't exactly set in stone, but I do have a slight vision of it, and I'm gonna I just keep telling myself I'm gonna work so hard to obtain that, and I think that's just a motive that everyone should have. Just don't just never give up.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I think that sounds pretty awesome, and I wish you the best of luck in achieving your goals.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right. Well, I think this is a wrap for episode one of our show. We'll catch you most likely next week when we'll do our episode two about me. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Kevin, for telling us a little bit about yourself. If you have
Yeah,
any,
my pleasure.
oh yeah, yeah. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you want to go on the show, please leave a comment down below, or you can email us at depressionisrealpodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.